It's a sad fact that the motorcycle world can be tribal. If you ride a new ADV bike while I prefer a cruiser, Susan over there likes to ride her ancient airhead BMW, while Charlie likes his maxi scooter. Do we still have anything in common? Will we chat at the gas stations or pretend that the other person doesn't exist, just because their approach to riding is different to our own? It's always mystified me that motorcyclists can be so tribal. If I search my conscience enough, I have to admit that as much as I may despise it in others, I'm probably just as guilty of harbouring those tendencies as anyone else. I look at the people with the Harley Davidson emblazoned clothing and the inevitable straggly or square-cut grey beards, usually just on the men, or the clean-cut BMW GS riders with their Klim Power Ranger suits, with mild disdain. And as for the sport bike riding, race leather-clad racetrack wannabes, oh, just don't get me started. See what I mean? As soon as I start thinking about other riders and their preferences, all of a sudden I can no longer see the individual. They've become stereotypes, lost their identity. One way in which I try to counteract this is by waving to anyone else who passes on 2 and sometimes 3 wheels. I'm an equal opportunity waver. Some riders find waving tedious, pointless, irritating, or are just too cool to bother. I'm not one of those. I'll wave or nod to just about anyone. Spiders, cruisers, squids on rockets, groups on ADV bikes, couples on touring bikes out for a spin, kids on tiny e-bikes heading to their jobs at McDonald's, geezers on mobility trikes. They all get a hearty wave or a nod. It's a shared moment of acknowledgement, no matter how brief. It links us to other riders and creates a sense of belonging. Riding a motorcycle is a deeply individual activity, but a simple wave connects us to a much larger whole. No matter what one's riding, you're still moving through space with little to separate you from the air around you. It's flying at ground level, only without the aeroplane or the wingsuit. On some bikes you can barely even see the machine beneath you at all. For a while my eldest son had a Buell XB 900 with such a short wheelbase that you literally couldn't see the bike unless you looked down. It was a strange, slightly unnerving experience. You felt as though you were flying along the road, mere feet above the tarmac, with only the vibration and the engine sound to remind you that you're on a motorcycle. Other machines aren't quite so extreme, but even while riding bikes with windscreens and high dashes, you're still in the air, not encapsulated by sheet metal and glass. People who don't ride have no conception of what a different experience it is to proceed across the landscape on a bike compared to driving the same route in a car. They're light years apart. The sound, the wind, the smells, the feeling of space all around, and that ever-present sense of one's own vulnerability make every ride a mini-adventure. The same trip in a car or truck is infinitely less engaging. The price is that we suffer in the cold when it's cold, the heat when it's hot, and the wet when it's raining, but those are all discomforts I'm happy to endure for the pleasure of riding. That is what unites us. Not the make or model, the noise of the engine, the size of the wheels, or whether you have to swing a leg or step over. Riding is riding. Some bikes satisfied with their speed, acceleration and handling, some with their luxury and comfort, and some with their lightness and frugality. We all have different interests and needs, yet at the core, it's all the same. I hope you enjoyed this little diatribe. If so, you'll probably enjoy my various motorcycle books. They're available in print, digital, and audiobook formats, narrated by me. Just search Amazon or Audible for Nick Adams Motorcycle. Thanks for watching.